Part 22. As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Di. Chapter 211. Ye Chen took a nap, and the table full of dishes was already served. Ye Chen was stunned when he saw the food. Lan, Qian, does the dish on your table have a name, angel and devil? Ye Chen said funnily. Half of the dishes were so dark, God knows what they were cooked in. The other half of the dishes looked very good. Master, you are bullying me. Langxiu stamped her feet and said gloomily, those jet black things were naturally made by her. She is the eldest lady of Shenjian Villa. How could she have done this before? The rest of the dishes must have been cooked by Lu Qian. She had been orphaned long ago. You have to support yourself. Hey, Lan, what kind of bullying is this? You will know what real bullying is tonight. Ye Chen said with a smile. Langxiu and Lu Qinqin's faces suddenly turned red and very attractive. Everyone sit down and let's eat. The beauty won't come over tonight. Ye Chen smiled and said, Langxiu and Lu Qian sat on both sides of Ye Chen, and waves of fragrance spread from their bodies to Ye Chen's nostrils. Ye Chen couldn't even eat any more. But there is something more delicious than food next to it. However, Langxiu and the others were cooking for the first time, so they still had to eat some. In less than 20 minutes, the meal was over. Langxiu and Lu Qian entered their rooms with shy faces. They all took a shower and changed clothes, quietly waiting for Ye Chen to come over. Bang, bang. Langxiu's heartbeat was twice as fast as usual, and her face was red. Suddenly, Langxiu's door was pushed open, and Ye Chen entered Langxiu's room. A dash. The battle in the room started quickly, and it took 2 or 3 hours for the battle to end. Master, please go to Qinqin's place quickly. Qian has been waiting for a long time. Langxiu whispered. Ye Chen caressed Langxiu's hair. Lan, why don't I stay with you tonight, and I'll tell Qian that I'll see her tomorrow. Master, Qian, and I told you that we are on the same day. It doesn't matter, Master. I'm tired and I'm going to bed. Langxiu said. Ye Chen kissed Langxiu on the forehead and disappeared, and soon he arrived at Lu Qinqin's place. It didn't take long for tonight's second kill to be won. Together with Luo Hanjian, the achievement of killing 3 people has been completed. Early the next morning, Ye Chen came out of Langxiu's room refreshed. That's right, he went to Langxiu's place again in the middle of the night and didn't sleep all night. Fortunately, okay, my cultivation is strong and I can bear it. Owner. Not long after, Langxiu, Lu Qian and the others came to greet Ye Chen. They looked even more charming after being exposed to the rain and dew for the first time. Lan, Qian, when the beauty comes to court, you can go to the Purple Dragon Palace. Ye Chen ordered. Langxiu and Lu Qian had just become his women. They should go to Luo Hanjian, the mistress, to offer tea and say hello. If Luo Hanjian drinks tea, it means she truly accepts them. Yes, master. Langxiu and Lu Qian said in unison. An hour later, Luo Hanjian went down to court, and Langxiu and Lu Qian were already waiting at the Purple Dragon Palace. Mistress, please have tea. Langxiu and Lu Qian knelt down and said. In the Tianyang dynasty, the status of concubines was relatively low, not to mention that Luo Hanjian was still the emperor. Luo Hanjian took the tea from Langxiu and took a small sip, then took the tea from Lu Qian and took a small sip. Lan, Qian, you must serve your husband more carefully in the future. Although you are concubines, you should also know that your husband is very good to you. Also, you should do more for the Ye family. Luo Hanjian warned. She showed the majesty of the mistress. Yes, mistress. Langxiu and Lu Qian said in unison. Luo Hanjian pondered for a while and said, You can find some books to learn some skills in that area, and try to keep your husband's heart. You probably don't want your husband to have anyone else. Luo Hongjian thought of Luo Yudi, and she felt that Luo Yudi would most likely not change her mind in 2 years. Luo Hongjian could barely accept the addition of Luo Yudi, but she couldn't accept any more. Ye Chen treats her very well, and the Ye family also needs to spread its wings. Luo Hongjian is willing to let Ye Chen have a little bit of fun, but too much will definitely not work. Yes, mistress. En Langxiu and Lu Qianqian were a little shy and said that they had never learned any skills in that area. Luo Hongjian's face softened, and she stood up and helped En Langxiu and Lu Qianqian up with her own hands. En Lan, Qianqian, we will be a family from now on. Let's have a meal at my place at noon, just the 3 of us, without my husband. My husband was already very full last night. Luo Hongjian said jokingly. En Langxiu and Lu Qianqian were extremely shy. Luo Hongjian had been an experienced driver for more than 2 years. They were newbies on the road and were quite nervous. Fengming Palace, King Biu and several of his sons were brought to Ye Chen. Luo Hongjian had already met them during the early court. Yan Rui was too presumptuous and had the intention of rebellion. King Biu's vassal territory was immediately withdrawn from the court. King Biu and the others, Luo Hongjian asked Ye Chen to handle them, whether they were to be killed or chopped into pieces. See the Empress. King Biu and the others knelt down and said, King Biu was nearly 60 years old, but he looked only about 40 years old. He had 4 sons around him. The oldest is in his 30s, and the youngest is barely 20. The king of Biu has no grandchildren yet. King of Biu, I am a little surprised that you didn't rebel or run away. Ye Chen said in a calm voice. King of Biu smiled bitterly and said, it was me, I was crazy. It's my fault. I will take it myself. There is no need to implicate the rest of the clan. There is no need to implicate the soldiers who support me. Moreover, if war breaks out, the people will suffer. I am still a member of the Tianyang dynasty. Ye Chen was silent. The lineage of King Biu has guarded the border for generations and enjoyed wealth and glory, but the credit is still not small. The Biu Iron Cavalry has killed countless foreign enemies. You are also a man. It's a pity that Yan Rui is far inferior to you. Ye Chen said indifferently. King Biu has the country, the family, the soldiers, and the people in his eyes, but what about Yan Rui? In his eyes, there are often only women. The only thing that is worth mentioning is that he has a good talent. King Biu remained silent. Yan Rui was his son. No matter how many faults he had, he was already dead. He didn't want to say anything wrong about Yan Rui anymore. Ye Chen said, King Biu, Yan Rui is arrogant. I wanted to kill all of your clan, but you are still responsible. I will stop with you. Thank you, Empress. King Biu said calmly. He knew that if he came here, he would die. Ye Chen still admired them for not rebelling or fleeing in this situation. Even if they didn't rebel, most people would choose to flee in this situation. King Biu has the strength of the great emperor, so he might be able to survive. Drink these cups of poisoned wine. Ye Chen said in a calm voice. As he said that, he waved his hand, and several cups of poisoned wine appeared in front of King Biu and the others. 1 cup for each person. Biu King said, Empress, before I die, can I ask you a question? You don't have to answer if you don't want to. Ask. Biu King said curiously, Empress, may I ask what kind of strength you have now, and what kind of strength is the eunuch Lu who brought us here? Ye Chen smiled. He first unlocked Biu King's restrictions. Boom. A terrifying aura enveloped Biu King. Biu King's cultivation level is the 2nd level of the Great Emperor, and his strength is quite strong, but now he feels like a mortal. And Ye Chen is a god. Ye Chen said lightly, I currently have the strength of a perfect saint. Eunuch Liu's strength is average, only the strength of the early stage of a semi-saint. The next second, Ye Chen's breath was restrained. Bio King gasped for breath, and he was extremely shocked. He thought that Ye Chen might have the strength of a semi-saint, but he never thought that Eunuch Liu actually had the strength of a semi-saint. Ye Chen actually has the strength of a perfect saint. Fortunately, there was no rebellion, and no escape. King Bio was sweating profusely. If he had chosen that, the consequences would have been much more serious. Warm Ti. As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Did. Chapter 212. King Bio sent a message to inform his sons about Ye Chen's strength, and they were extremely horrified. Empress, you are so powerful, wouldn't it be better to just show your strength and kill people? One of the sons of King Bio smiled bitterly. Ye Chen said calmly, if you show your strength and kill people right from the beginning, you can kill one person. If you let them jump around a little more, you can also ransack the house, right? King Bio smiled bitterly. If he hadn't made the right choice, Bio Palace would have been ransacked. The Hidden Lei family will most likely be ransacked. Little did he know that Holy Lord Ye Chen could survive for more than 2 years with his perfect strength. Emperor and Empress, the winner is the king and the loser is the bandit, there is nothing to say. You have the perfect cultivation of the Holy Lord, which is a blessing to our Tianyang dynasty. Respect the Tianyang dynasty. King Bio picked up the poisonous wine in front of him and drank it in one gulp. Receive. King Bio did not kill innocent people. He actually did not need to be taken to hell, but Ye Chen still controlled hell to take his soul in. Brothers, the second brother takes the first step. We will be brothers again in the next life. Drink victory. The second son of King Bio said, he also picked up the poisonous wine in front of him and drank it. Let's drink together. The other 3 sons also drank the poisoned wine. They knew that they would definitely die. They had been working in the army all year round, so they did not plead with Ye Chen at this moment. In a short period of time, there were 5 corpses in front of Ye Chen. None of the 4 sons of King Bio killed innocent people, and Ye Chen also received their souls into hell. Many evil spirits will enter hell. Depending on their crimes, they will not suffer in the 18 levels of hell all the time after entering. After the punishment is over, they will live in hell. Managers needed. King Bio and the others are rebellious and should be killed, but after killing them, their souls can be used. Empress, we are still alive, here is dash. King Bio said in surprise. A wisp of Ye Chen's consciousness cloned himself into hell and appeared in front of King Bio and the others. Ye Chen said calmly, you are already dead, and now you are in a soul state. Since you are still responsible and have not killed innocent people indiscriminately, I will give you a chance to be loyal to me. Thump. King Bio, father and son, immediately knelt down. King Bio, this is the inside of one of my treasures. There are 19 floors in total. You can call this floor the ghost realm. A large number of evil spirits from the outside world will enter the ghost realm first. Then they will soon enter the 18 levels of hell and be punished according to the crimes committed during their lifetime. Lei Hongji, Yan Rui, and the others are being punished now. The evil spirits who have been punished will return to the ghost realm. You have 2 tasks. The first is to collect various secrets that I may need. The second is to conduct special training for all evil spirits who have reached the strength of the Star Sea. King Bio said, my lord, the special training you are talking about is to train them into qualified soldiers. Ye Chen nodded slightly, that's right. You should have experience in how to train. Lord, we will do our best. King Bio and others said in unison. Ye Chen said calmly, serve me well and I will not treat you badly. If you mess around, I will destroy you all together. After saying that, Ye Chen's clone disappeared. 3 days passed. In the cave heaven paradise where the hidden Lei family is located, the ancestors of the Lei family came out of Yunlei Pond. Originally, they could absorb all the power in Yunlei Pond in half a day. But they successfully communicated with the ancestors of the Holy Demon Realm, and more power came out of Yunlei Pond. In 3 days, their strength has improved a lot. The ancestor of the Lei family used to be at the 5th level of the Great Emperor, but now he has reached the 7th level of the Great Emperor. The 6th level of Emperor Lei Shengtian. The strong man at the 2nd level of the Great Emperor is already at the 5th level. 2 strong men at the 1st level of the Great Emperor have now reached the 4th level of the Great Emperor. The strength of the Lei family has skyrocketed. Ancestor, I didn't expect that we would have such an opportunity. With the support of our ancestors in the Holy Demon Realm, our strength has improved so much in just 3 days. Lei Shengtian said excitedly. He clenched his fists and felt the power in his body being much stronger than before. The ancestor of the Lei family said, our ancestors have improved our strength so much. There are probably important tasks for us in the future. Let's take control of the Tianyang dynasty first. Lei Shengtian and the others nodded. 3 days ago, they were vaguely worried. The strength of the royal family seems to be stronger than they expected. Can Ye Chen still burst out with the strength of the 7th level of the Great Emperor? Now they have no fear at all. The Lei family is stronger than ever. Ancestor, let's go, I can't wait any longer, ha ha ha. Lei Shengtian laughed. Set off. The ancestors of the Lei family also said. Soon about 30 strong men from the Lei family were dispatched. In addition to their 5 emperor-level experts, the other 20 or so are all god emperor-level figures. The Lei family originally did not have such strength, but it has improved in the past 2 or 3 years. Boom! There were bursts of thunder in the sky, and the ancestors of the Lei family rode the thunder and led the others forward. This thunder was transformed into the treasure of the ancestors of the Lei family. The ancestor of the Lei family cultivated to the 7th level of the Great Emperor, but with strong treasures, his combat power could reach the 8th level of the Great Emperor. What's that? There seems to be someone on top of Thunderbolt. It should be a strong man from the Lei family. The strong men of the Lei family made a lot of noise when they advanced. Ordinary people could only hear the sound, but those with stronger strength could see the people above the thunder and lightning. Fengming Palace, Luo Hongjian arrived here. Husband, the 5 great emperors of the Lei family are coming in great force. They are going very fast. They will arrive at Tianyang Imperial City in about 10 minutes. Luo Hongjian smiled lightly and said that she was not worried at all. More than 2 years ago, Ye Chen reached full strength as a half-saint, and now he is in the early stage of a guaranteed saint. In front of a powerful man at the level of a saint, the emperor is just a stronger ant. Haha, I saw them. Ye Chen chuckled and released his spiritual consciousness. He scanned around and quickly discovered Lei Shengtian and the others. Their strength is quite good. The ancestors of the Lei family are already at the 7th level of the Great Emperor. They also have a pretty good imperial weapon, which should be as strong as the 8th level of the Great Emperor. The weakest one also has the 4th level of cultivation of the Great Emperor. Luo Hongjian was stunned. She was shocked that the hidden Lei family was actually so powerful. If it weren't for Ye Chen, the royal family would have absolutely no ability to resist. The Tianyang royal family has some treasures, such as the demon suppressing tower, which is a sacred weapon. But the Tianyang dynasty did not have powerful ancestors in the holy and demon world. The Wangqing cult master transmitted power deep into Luo Hongjian's soul, but she wanted to control Luo Hongjian. Hongjian, what do you want to do with the 4 hidden families? Ye Chen smiled. Luo Hongjian said, the royal family has always known about the 4 hidden families, but they rarely go out to the outside world. We don't mess with each other. Now that they have begun to emerge, it is not good to wipe them all out, but they also need to be beaten. The Lei family jumped out first. Let's take action on the Lei family. Ye Chen nodded slightly. We'll wait until they arrive at Tianyang Imperial City. Not many people will see the move now, and the effect of shocking the enemy will be greatly reduced. Luo Hanjian was a little worried and said, "Husband, if a fight breaks out here in Tianyang Imperial City, it won't affect ordinary people, right?" Ye Chen chuckled and said, "Hanjian, you seriously lack understanding of the power of the Holy Lord level. You are the only one who is great." Luo Hanjian rolled her eyes at Ye Chen and said. In just 10 minutes, the powerful men of the Lei family arrived at Tianyang Imperial City, and they flew directly to the interior of Tianyang Imperial City. Boom! 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 The 5 emperors of the Lei family released their auras unscrupulously. The 5 emperor-level auras were like 5 evil dragons tumbling in the sky. The sky became very scary. A figure with the level of a god king flies into the sky, and may be torn apart by a few waves of the emperor's breath. The Lei family is actually so strong. The royal family cannot resist. The remaining 3 major hidden families now have people in Tianyang Imperial City, and they are gathered together. The strength of the Lei family shocked them beyond measure. The 5 great emperors of the Lei family are actually so strong. The most powerful of the 3 great Yin families have only reached the 4th level of the great emperor. Is something going to change? People from ordinary forces were even more shocked. Empress Ye, you invited us to come to Tianyang dynasty, and now we are here, haha. Lei Shengtian laughed. Luo Hanjian, please announce your abdication. You can become my empress. In Fengming Palace, Ye Chen was lying down. Is this the strength of the hidden Lei family? You have disappointed me very much. Ye Chen's faint voice reached outside the palace. Lei Shengtian and the others felt that their power was instantly sealed. Ah! Amidst the screams, Lei Shengtian and the others fell heavily from the air to the ground. With the physical strength of Lei Shengtian and the others, they did not fall to death. But they were all confused. What's going on? Don't move. Jin Yiwei's men quickly controlled Lei Shengtian and the others. With their cultivations sealed, they are no match for the powerful Jin Yiwei. Ding Mo, the commander of the Jinyi guards, also came to the side. Commander Ding, the one who spoke so wildly just now, cut out his tongue and help him clean himself. Ye Chen's faint voice reached outside the palace. Yes, Empress. Ding Mo was extremely respectful. Ah! Lei Shengtian screamed, and Ding Mo took action himself, and his tongue was cut off first. Then Ding Mo stabbed Lei Shengtian's crotch red with blood. In the distance, Taro Fujita used special means to pay attention to the situation here. He was shocked. Ye Chen should already have half-saint level strength. And probably stronger than him. You have to go to the Demon God Tower to continue receiving divine power. Taro Fujita was about to leave, but at this moment, Ye Chen's voice sounded in his ears. Your Excellency, please stay. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Did. Chapter 213. Taro Fujita's expression changed, powerful power surged in his body, and he tried to escape far away. Ben. Ye Chen's spiritual consciousness invaded Taro Fujita's body and directly sealed his strength. The strength of Taro Fujita's half-saint in the early stage is already very good, but compared with Saint Ye Chen's perfection, there is still a huge gap. Go. In Emperor Tianyang's palace, a contract scroll flew out. In just one breath, the contract scroll arrived next to Taro Fujita. Taro Fujita, sign this master-servant contract. You can live, or you die. I will send someone to the Thousand Island Kingdom to slaughter your Thousand Island Kingdom royal family. Ye Chen's voice sounded in Taro Fujita's mind. Taro Fujita looked extremely ugly. After signing the master-servant contract, he became a slave. But he doesn't want to die yet. Nowadays, the strength of the semi-saint level fascinates him. I sign. Taro Fujita gritted his teeth and quickly signed the master-servant contract. Immediately, Taro Fujita's face became submissive. Taro Fujita, you return to Thousand Island Country and continue to improve your strength. If there is any big action in Thousand Island Country, I need to know about it. Ye Chen said via voice transmission. Yes, my lord. Taro Fujita left quickly. His early stage half-saint strength would be of great use if he stayed in the Thousand Islands country. Empress, what should we do now? Please tell me. Ding Mo said, knowing that Ye Chen could definitely hear his voice. Tie him up and bring him to the palace. Ye Chen said calmly. He can sign in again in a few days, but Ye Chen doesn't want to leave the palace at the moment. He has accumulated strong luck in more than 2 years, and now he has a high probability of obtaining a mysterious treasure. There is also a high probability of obtaining god-level treasures. If he leaves the palace and leaves the exclusive check-in point, his luck will be scattered, and the treasures he obtains will definitely be reduced by 1 level. Not long after, Ding Mo and others escorted about 30 strong men from the Lei family to Fengming Palace. Luo Hongjian also arrived here. En Langxiu and Lu Qianqian were originally at the Purple Dragon Palace, and they came here with Luo Hongjian. Most of the powerful men in the Lei family are men. They have never seen Luo Hongjian and the others. When they see Luo Hongjian and the 3 girls, many of them have a look of surprise in their eyes. Everyone, I admire you for still being lustful under such circumstances. Ye Chen said with an indifferent expression. Eunuch Lu, take all the men except Lei Shengtian down and clean their lower bodies together. Ye Chen ordered. The expressions of everyone in the Lei family changed greatly. The ancestor of the Lei family said sternly, Ye Chen, don't think you have already won. Do you think that all the powerful men at the level of God King and God Emperor in our Lei family are all here? Across the Tianyang dynasty, our Lei family still has several God King level powerhouses, and dozens of God King level powerhouses. They are ready to take action at any time. Lei Shengtian sneered and said, Your Majesty, Ye Chen, you should know that a God King level figure can destroy a city in a short time. As long as those powerful men from our Lei family take action, the Tianyang dynasty will soon die hundreds of millions of people. If you let us go, our Lei family and your royal family will remain the same as before. Ye Chen clapped his hands. He smiled lightly and said, Your Lei family is so powerful and yet you are so cautious in your actions. It's amazing. It's a pity that it's not powerful enough. Ye Chen said and sent the message to the companion god Lu. The companion god Lu immediately hypnotized Lei Shengtian and the ancestors of the Lei family. They are quite strong, even with Ye Chen's strength it is difficult to hypnotize them, but in front of the companion god Lu Xianxian level power, they are just scum. Who are the people sent by your Lei family and what kind of soul aura they have? Let me know by summons. Ye Chen said softly. Lei Shengtian and the others immediately informed Ye Chen of the relevant information. Go. The 4 Xuxian swords were released by Ye Chen. In 2 breaths, the Xuxian sword formation was activated, and the Xuxian sword formation directly enveloped the entire Tianyang dynasty. The coverage area is large. If a semi-saint level expert restrains his aura, Ye Chen will not be able to detect it. But no one with the level of God King or God Emperor could hide from Ye Chen. Soon, all the powerful God Kings and God Emperors sent by the Lei family were found by Ye Chen. Poof. Poof. Without talking nonsense to them, Ye Chen controlled the Xuxian sword formation to kill them directly. Their souls went to hell. Their souls are powerful, and entering hell can provide a lot of nutrients for the growth of hell. Hanjian, done. Yechen looked at Luo Hanjian and chuckled. Luo Hanjian was startled. Husband, do you mean to say that all the powerful men arranged by the Lei family in the Tianyang dynasty have been killed by you? Yechen nodded lightly. Luo Hanjian and Anlangxiu and Lu Qianqian were both shocked, and the powerful men of the Lei family couldn't believe it. Impossible, this is impossible. We don't even know where the powerful men sent by our Lei family are now. Lei Shengtian and the Lei family ancestors said sharply. The companion god Lu will now let go of his hypnosis on them. Yechen was too lazy to pay attention to them. Hanjian, destroy most of their cultivation, cleanse them, and arrange for them to do some hard work in the palace. What do you think? This has a better deterrent effect than killing them directly. Husband, I listen to you. Luo Hanjian said softly. If it hadn't been for Yechen and so many strong men from the Lei family coming over, the royal family would have collapsed. Empress, you can't do this. Emperor and Empress, please don't do this, we will be loyal to you from now on. Your Majesty, we are strong and can do a lot for the Tianyang dynasty. The powerful men of the Lei family spoke one after another. However, they were taken over by eunuch Lu to purify themselves. Yechen personally destroyed most of their cultivation, making them much older. Emperor Lei Shengtian's 6th level of cultivation only left him with the innate 6th level. Even the slightly more powerful maids in the palace could defeat him. Hanjian, you make the arrangements next. Yechen chuckled and said, Luo Hanjian is the emperor, and it is better for her to do many things herself. This way she can get more emperor energy. Although Emperor Qi is not as powerful as Merit, it still has many effects. Husband, thank you. Luo Hanjian said. She kissed Yechen in front of Xuanhuan and others, and in front of many of Lei Shengtian and others. Someone, take them away. Arrange a parade for them. Organize people to watch and let everyone know that rebellion will not end well. Luo Hanjian said in a deep voice. Yechen silently agreed with Luo Hanjian, saying it would be a good idea to arrange a parade for them. Half an hour later, Lei Shengtian and the others were all locked in the prison van. If you want to rebel, go ahead and eat shit. Our lives have been getting better and better since His Majesty came to the throne, but you still want to rebel. Countless people threw all kinds of messy things at Lei Shengtian and the others. Lei Shengtian and the others were willing to die immediately. They are the strong men of the hidden family, and they have never suffered such an insult. Your Majesty is doing this for us to see. It seems that our remaining 3 hidden families have to swear allegiance to His Majesty. In the crowd, the powerful men of the other 3 hidden families were discussing secretly. Since Luo Hanjian dared to order the humiliation of Lei Shengtian and the others, the powerful men secretly arranged by the Lei family must have been eliminated. The strength of the royal family is unfathomable. There is such a big movement, but the master of Juxiao Pavilion still hasn't appeared. Where did this guy go? Yechen muttered. But he didn't care too much, even if the master of Juxiao Pavilion reached the level of saint, so what? As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Did. Chapter 214. A few days passed in a blink of an eye, and Yechen's life was extremely comfortable. Luo Hanjian, Anlangxiu, and Lu Qianqian all needed to spend a lot of time practicing. The 3 of them discussed it. They took turns to accompany Yechen at night. In the past, there was only Luo Hanjian, and Luo Hanjian had to practice most of the time. On average, it took 3 or 4 days to accompany Yechen for one night. Now there is someone to warm the bed every day. Finally, another month has passed, he. Yechen smiled. He can sign in again, and he doesn't know what good things he can sign in for. This is his first sign in after reaching the early stage of Saint Venerable. According to past experience, the higher the cultivation level, the better the treasures obtained by signing in. System, sign in once first. Yachen said in his mind, to see how lucky he is today. If the luck is not good, change to tomorrow. Sign in successfully. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the Xian level reward exclusive sign-in point expansion card, which can be used to expand the exclusive sign-in point range to a radius of 10 kilometers. The system's words made Yechen's eyes light up. The reward is only Xian level, but Yechen thinks it's pretty good. After more than 2 years of hiding in the palace, it's still a bit boring. Yechen also wants to take Luo Hongjian and Anlangxiu out for a walk. But the original exclusive check-in point is only 1 kilometer wide. All inside the Tianyan Imperial Palace. Now it has been expanded to 10 kilometers, covering many places outside the Tianyan Imperial Palace. Some of the most prosperous areas are basically all within 10 kilometers. Luo Yudi has now moved to the princess's mansion, and her princess's mansion is also within 10 kilometers. 2 days ago, Luo Hongjian also mentioned to Yechen when they would go out of the palace to see Chang'e. System, use the exclusive check-in point expansion card. Already used. Yechen's eyes showed surprise. He felt that as the exclusive check-in points expanded, the speed at which he accumulated luck seemed to have accelerated a lot. System, my luck accumulation has accelerated, is this my illusion? Host, it's not. The exclusive sign-in point has been expanded, and your sign-in luck has accelerated several times. Yechen was excited. There was actually such a benefit. This reward was awesome. It seems that I'm lucky today. System, sign in again. Sign in successfully. Congratulations to the host for winning the God level reward Emperor Yuxian Gong. Equipment requirements, Emperor. Yechen was very satisfied. God level reward, good stuff. This naturally has to be given to Luo Hongjian. The martial arts that Luo Hongjian is practicing now are still the same martial arts, but they are only earth level. Yechen got a lot of martial arts when he signed in, but none of them were particularly suitable for Luo Hongjian. System, explain it in detail. The system quickly explained to Yechen in detail that this Emperor Yuxian Gong can allow the Emperor to absorb the power of faith of the people, and the people love him, so he can practice faster. The population of Tianyan dynasty is 10 billion, and Luo Hongjian is now very popular among the people. If she practices this technique, her strength will probably be greatly improved in a short time. System, come again. Yechen said in his heart. Today, the European Emperor possesses him. Sign in successfully. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the God-level plane order. Awesome. Yechen was so excited that he almost shouted. 3 sign-ins, 2 God-level rewards. Awesome. It turns out that Yechen only got 1 God-level plane order. That God-level plane order, Yechen used it on the Yuanji Wuliang Gong. This God-level plane order, there is no doubt that Yechen will use it on the Chaos Battle Body. System, use the God-level plane order to improve the Chaos Battle Body. Already used. The Chaos Battle Body that Yechen possessed was originally only at the Xian level, and it reached the God level in a short period of time. Yechen clearly felt that his cultivation jumped from the early stage of Saint Venerable to the middle stage of Saint Venerable. And the physical fitness has been enhanced, and the normal practice speed has also increased a lot. Around Yechen, there was no change in the world. The original Saint Hidden Cloak had long been retired. Now, what helped Yechen hide his cultivation was another more powerful Xian level treasure. With the improvement of his cultivation, Yechen's perception became stronger, and he found invisible threads falling towards the Purple Dragon Palace. Yechen arrived at the Purple Dragon Palace in an instant. Yechen's good mood suddenly became much worse. Dozens of invisible threads actually fell on Luo Hongjian. The other end of the thread sank into the void. Husband, what's wrong? Luo Hongjian asked in confusion. She had just left the court and was about to go to Fengming Palace. "Hanjian, are you feeling uncomfortable?" Ye Chen asked. His consciousness entered Luo Hanjian's body. Those invisible threads disappeared without a trace on Luo Hanjian's body, as if they were only connected to Luo Hanjian. There was not much hidden power of the forgetful sect leader in Luo Hanjian's body. It seemed that the forgetful sect leader was not playing tricks. Luo Hanjian shook her head. "Husband, no. Think about it carefully." Ye Chen frowned and the Xuanhuan sword appeared in his hand and cut through the invisible threads. It was useless, the threads did not cut. Ye Chen stretched out his hand, and the threads passed directly through his palm, as if they did not exist at all. "Husband, what's wrong with you? I really don't feel anything unusual," Luo Hanjian said in confusion. Ye Chen was using a sword and waving his hands, and there was nothing above her head. "System, what is this?" Ye Chen said in his mind. He tried to cut another sword, this sword even cracked the space, but these threads still exist well. "Host, this is love thread," the system replied. Ye Chen's face sank. "System, what are you talking about? Hanjian only has me as a man, how can these love threads be involved with her? And how can these things not be cut off?" The system said, "Host, you should have heard that love threads are hard to cut. It's not that there are feelings just because there are love threads, this should be a strong man using a powerful treasure." Ye Chen frowned. If this is the case, it must be the work of the Forget Love sect leader. "What's the harm of this thing?" The system said. Luo Hanjian didn't feel anything. The effect of this love thread should be aimed at other strong men, dozens of love threads should connect dozens of strong men. Now that the two worlds have not come into contact, they can pass on the love thread, and the strength of those dozens of strong men should not be low. They will probably fight desperately for Luo Hanjian at that time. Ye Chen cursed in his heart. The Forget Love sect leader, this woman, actually made such a thing. Dozens of top masters are eyeing Luo Hanjian, and Ye Chen is a bit overwhelmed just thinking about it. "Host, there is one more thing. If the Holy Demon realm is closer to the original realm, there will be more emotional connections, and Luo Hanjian may be pulled to the Holy Demon realm." Ye Chen took a breath of cold air. He is definitely not likely to have such a situation. Luo Hanjian's strength in the original realm is still good, but if she goes to the Holy Demon realm, she will be nothing. "System, do you have any way to solve it?" Ye Chen asked secretly. The system said, "Host, with your current strength, you can't cut off the emotional connection, but as long as Luo Hanjian's own strength is strong, she will not be so easily led away. It's the same as fishing. The emotional connection is the fishing line, and Luo Hanjian is the fish. Host, in fact, as long as Luo Hanjian is not led away, it doesn't make much difference to you. With Luo Hanjian's appearance, if a large number of masters return to the Holy Demon realm, only a few dozen will be interested in her." Ye Chen. The system's words are a bit heartbreaking, but it is true. There will definitely be top masters who are interested in Luo Hanjian. Even if there are only one or two, there doesn't seem to be much difference between them and dozens. "Husband, what's going on?" Luo Hanjian asked anxiously. Ye Chen did not hide it, he told Luo Hanjian the situation. "Don't worry too much, Hanjian, your current strength is not low, and you will become stronger." Ye Chen said and asked the system to pass the Emperor's sky-controlling art to Luo Hanjian. It took half an hour for Luo Hanjian to digest and absorb the massive amount of information she had obtained. "Husband, this technique is so powerful." Luo Hanjian was very shocked. The technique she had practiced before was already very good, but it was just dregs compared to the new technique. "Hanjian, you practice first, I'll watch you from the side, this technique is suitable for you, you should be able to get started quickly." Luo Hanjian quickly began to practice the new technique, and got started with the new technique smoothly. A huge amount of faith power in the void surged towards Luo Hongjian. Luo Hongjian has been the emperor for 8 years, and the people love her. The people actually gave her a lot of faith power. But Luo Hongjian could only use a very small part of it before transformed into the emperor's aura. When her cultivation was low before, the utilization rate was less than 1/10,000th. Even with Luo Hongjian's current cultivation, the utilization rate is only 1%. A large amount of faith power is accumulated in the void, and a lot of it is wasted in vain. Hongjian has accumulated a lot of faith power. Ye Chen thought to himself. He is strong and can feel a lot of faith power quickly pouring into Luo Hongjian's body. There is a lot of faith power accumulated between heaven and earth, and the new technique is powerful. It should be within 1 or 2 months that Luo Hongjian can reach the 8th or 9th level of the emperor. Ye Chen secretly breathed a sigh of relief. Luo Hongjian is much safer with his strength. As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Di. Chapter 215. 10 days have passed. Luo Hongjian has been practicing with all her strength, and her cultivation has increased from the 4th level of the Great Emperor to the 6th level of the Great Emperor. The love threads on her head have also increased from dozens to about 200. Holy Demon Realm. The leader of Wangqing frowned, and those love threads were indeed made by her. It is not easy to make even one of these love threads. She still has to ask other powerful people for help, and the people of Wangqing demon cult can't do it. According to the leader of Wangqing's estimation, if she can make the love threads reach about 200, there should be a high probability that Luo Hongjian will be directly pulled over from the original world. The channel left by the pulling will not disappear immediately. She will improve Luo Hongjian's strength in a very short time, completely control Luo Hongjian, and then Luo Hongjian will return to the original world before the space channel disappears. By then, Luo Hongjian will be completely under her control, and her strength can reach the level of Saint Venerable. The leader of Wangqing has a good idea. How could this happen? The leader of Wangqing frowned, and now he didn't feel that he could pull Luo Hongjian at all. Has Luo Hongjian been practicing hard these days? Has the love thread been discovered? The leader of Wangqing was puzzled, but she thought it should be impossible. Love thread is invisible and intangible, and even a perfect saint may not be able to discover it. Through Luo Hongjian's dream, the leader of Wangqing knew that Ye Chen should have the strength of Saint Venerable, but she didn't know Ye Chen's specific strength. Luo Hongjian herself didn't know. Leader, shall we continue? A strong man beside the leader of Wangqing asked. Continue. The leader of Wangqing said in a deep voice, it has come to this point, should we just give up? She has paid a great price. Another 10 days passed. The love thread on Luo Hongjian's head reached 300 strands, and her cultivation reached the 7th level of the Great Emperor. For 20 days, Luo Hongjian has not slept. There has never been such a situation before, the love thread should be discovered. Luo Hongjian's strength must have improved a lot. The leader of Wangqing didn't look very good. Under the current situation, the 5th level emperors should be able to be attracted here. The price she paid is inestimable. Master, it is difficult for us to invite strong people with enough strength to help. Someone around the master of Wangqing said in embarrassment. Asking 300 top strong people to help, this is the super strength of Wangqing demon sect. But no matter how strong the influence is, it is limited. If you want to invite more people, the price you pay will increase exponentially. Let it be. The master of Wangqing frowned and said that the plan failed temporarily. However, the holy demon realm is now returning, and the love threads can last for a longer time. Their traction will continue to increase, and it is entirely possible to attract Luo Hongjian in the future. It's just that the later it is, the more strong people will come. The less time she has left. Although the secret of immortality is in the original world, it should not be so easy to find it. Yes, master. The strong man in front of the master of Wangqing said respectfully, and he secretly breathed a sigh of relief. The resources invested in these days are extremely terrifying. Even though their Forget Love demon sect was extremely powerful, they couldn't stand it now. Huh. In the Purple Dragon Palace, Ye Chen also breathed a sigh of relief. The love thread finally stopped growing, and the Forget Love sect master should not be able to stand it for the time being. Fortunately, I got the Emperor's heavenly power. Although other means can also improve Hanjian's strength in a short period of time, the sequelae are a bit serious. Ye Chen said in his heart. Hanjian, stop practicing. Take a nap and rest. Ye Chen said, he was fine. Luo Hanjian hadn't slept for more than 20 days, and still needed to practice with all her strength. It was very hard and mentally exhausted. Tens of thousands of years ago, with Luo Hanjian's current strength, it was actually no problem not to sleep for 3 to 5 years, but the rules of heaven and earth changed later. Not to mention the emperor-level strongmen, even the saint-level strongmen need to sleep. Husband, it's not growing anymore. Luo Hanjian opened her eyes and asked. Ye Chen smiled and nodded, yes, it has not increased anymore. The leader of Wangqing should not be able to bear it anymore. You can sleep peacefully, I will keep an eye on it. Back in the bedroom, Luo Hanjian soon fell asleep in Ye Chen's arms. The leader of Wangqing silently invaded Luo Hanjian's dream. As long as she does not transmit power, Ye Chen will not be able to find it. The companion god Willow is not good at this. The 7th level of the Emperor. The Emperor's heavenly power. Half an hour later, the leader of Wangqing got the information she wanted. She can only get relatively simple information now. She can know the name of the Emperor's heavenly power, but it is impossible to know the details of the Emperor's heavenly power. Damn it! In the Holy Demon Realm, the leader of Wangqing's eyes flashed with cold light. Ye Chen ruined her plans again and again. Luo Hanjian's current cultivation level is the 7th level of the Emperor, and her cultivation level will be improved in the future. The leader of Wangqing knows that her plan has failed by 90%. Luo Hanjian, Luo Hanjian. In the dream, the leader of Wangqing appeared, and she called Luo Hanjian's name. Luo Hanjian's eyelashes trembled, and she saw the leader of Wangqing in her dream. The leader of Wangqing said, Luo Hanjian, you should have discovered those love threads, they connect 300 very powerful people. If you continue to not cooperate, you and Ye Chen will die in the future. If you waste some of your cultivation and cooperate with my actions, I will let you and Ye Chen live well in the future, and I will cut off your love. Luo Hanjian stared at the Wangqing cult master and said, Wangqing cult leader, cut off the love and help us, and we will help you find the secret of eternal life. Snort. The leader of Wangqing snorted coldly. The secret of eternal life is so attractive, how could she be willing to give it to others? What she needs is to control Luo Hanjian. Luo Hanjian, this palace has given you the opportunity, you'd better cherish it. Even if you don't think about yourself, you have to think about Ye Chen. If you continue like this, you will definitely die. The leader of Wangqing said coldly. Luo Hanjian shook her head firmly, we don't agree with your plan. Please exit my dream. The next second, Luo Hanjian's dream was shattered. The Wangqing cult master was expelled from the dream, and Luo Hanjian also woke up. Husband, I saw the forgetful cult leader. She is indeed the one who did it. She said that if I lose some of my cultivation to cooperate with her, she will keep us safe in the future, and she will also cut off those love ties. Luo Hanjian said. Ye Chen said in a deep voice, don't listen to her nonsense. If she controls you and your strength increases, her first thought may be to kill me. Luo Hanjian nodded lightly. Go on to sleep. Ye Chen smiled and said, Luo Hanjian quickly fell asleep again. This time, the Wangqing cult leader did not invade her dream. Such an invasion would be quite costly. Early the next morning, Luo Hongjian felt refreshed again. Hongjian, didn't you leave the palace to visit Chang'e before? Just today. Ye Chen smiled and said. Good. Luo Hongjian nodded happily. Luo Yudi had been living in the princess mansion outside for a month. During this time, Luo Yudi had not been in the palace, and Luo Hongjian missed her very much. Hongjian, don't inform the others, the two of us will go there. Ye Chen smiled. Luo Hongjian nodded, that's exactly what I meant. With our current strength, there is no need to bring many guards out. Even Luo Hongjian is now a strong person at the 7th level of the Great Emperor. Her current combat power is at the early stage of a half-saint. It is normal to have the god-level Phoenix Holy Bones, god-level skills, and powerful weapons. With the 7th level cultivation of Emperor Luo Hongjian, it is normal to have the combat power of a semi-saint in the early stage. Holding Luo Hongjian's hand, Ye Chen and the others quickly left the palace and walked to the street. Ye Chen and the others did not change their appearance, but people around them automatically ignored them when they saw them. It is not difficult for Ye Chen and others to weaken their sense of existence. Not long after, Ye Chen and the others arrived at Princess Luo Yudi's mansion. Someone happened to come out of the princess mansion helplessly. Concubine Shu has been at Princess Luo Yudi's mansion during this period. She didn't say that she was going on a blind date with Luo Yudi, she just wanted to help her get to know more people. Mom, it's time to return to the palace after you've been out for a month. Let's go visit Sister Hongjian together. Ye Chen and the others entered the princess mansion and immediately heard Luo Yudi's pleading. Meeting at least 3 groups of people every day, Luo Yudi felt extremely overwhelmed. It's not enough to be disobedient. Concubine Shu told her that if she doesn't obey, she will not agree to Luo Yudi becoming her brother-in-law's woman in 2 years. Chang'e, you don't need to enter the palace. Your brother-in-law and I are here to visit you. Luo Hongjian laughed. Luo Yudi was extremely surprised and rushed to the front yard of the princess mansion. Sister Hongjian, brother-in-law. Both Ye Chen and Luo Hongjian noticed something strange about Luo Yudi. Luo Yudi actually had a faint evil spirit on her body. Ye Chen sensed that there was no monster occupying Luo Yudi's body. It should be that Luo Yudi has come into contact with monsters recently. Chang'e, have you not left the princess's residence recently? Ye Chen asked. Luo Yudi said pitifully, yes, brother-in-law, please accept me in advance. If this goes on for 2 years, I will go crazy. Ye Chen's consciousness spread out and enveloped the entire Tianyang imperial city, but no monster was found. Chang'e, tell me who you have met in the past 2 months. Luo Yudi was a little confused, but she immediately told Ye Chen the relevant information. The number of young talents they met, plus the guards they brought, totaled several hundred. The consciousness scan just now was a general induction, now Ye Chen will check one by one. Found you. Ye Chen's eyes sparkled. He discovered a semi-saint level demon hiding in the body of a young man. Snort. Ye Chen snorted coldly, this guy was probably testing his strength. He hid it well and restrained all the demonic aura. Why was there a trace of demonic aura in Chang'e? If he uses special treasures to gain great strength, he may not be able to detect the evil spirit. If you can't find the target after discovering the evil spirit, it means that Ye Chen's strength is not strong enough. Come to Chang'e Mansion and have a chat. Ye Chen sent out the message. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Dit. Chapter 216. Ye Chen noticed that the young man who received his message was not panicked. The other party was indeed testing. Using a half-saint level demon to test, The other party's power is not ordinary. Not long after, the young man contacted by Ye Chen arrived at Princess Changle's mansion. The gatekeeper who received the notice let him in directly. "Why are you here again, Wang Zi?" Concubine Shu was a little surprised. Why did Ye Chen and the others call Wang Zi over? She actually had an average impression of Wang Zi. Luo Hanjian said, "Aunt Chu, we called him over for other things. Aunt Chu Changle, you guys should step aside." Wang Zi grinned and said, "Empress Hanjian, what is there for them to step aside? After stepping aside, they will not encounter strong people like me." Luo Hanjian frowned secretly. "That's true." Ye Chen said in a calm voice, "Tell me, who are you and what do you want to do?" Wang Zi looked at Ye Chen. "Ye Chen, I didn't expect you to have the strength of a perfect half-saint. If Ye Chen and the others can find the demonic aura on Luo Yudi, it means that he should have the strength of the 9th level of the Great Emperor. If he can still find him, he will have the strength of a perfect half-saint." Shu Gaifei was extremely shocked. Luo Yudi also looked at Ye Chen in disbelief. Ye Chen has the strength of a perfect half-saint? Don't talk nonsense, just say it. Ye Chen frowned. Shu Gaifei said, "Empress, isn't Wang Zi the son of cloth merchant Wang Yuan? He is average." Luo Hanjian said, "Aunt Chu, there is a demon in Wang Zi's body, and his flesh and blood have been eaten by the demon." Shu Gaifei and Luo Yudi's faces changed drastically. Among Luo Yudi's blind date, there is actually a powerful demon hidden. "Hanjian, didn't the treasure give a warning?" Shu Gaifei said hurriedly, "In this case, wouldn't Changle be in danger?" Luo Hanjian shook her head. "The demon treasure of the half-saint level is difficult to sense." Ye Chen looked at Luo Yudi at this time. "Huh?" There was a look of surprise in his eyes. Luo Yudi didn't know whether she was frightened or for some other reason, but the chess book he gave her before actually recognized the owner. Although others thought that his gift was ordinary, Luo Yudi liked it very much, studied it during the day, and slept with it at night. Her chess book was spiritual. Sensing Luo Yudi's sincerity and realizing that she might be in danger, he simply chose to recognize the owner. A huge amount of information quickly poured into Luo Yudi's mind. "Collect." Ye Chen took out the demon refining pot and instantly received Wang Zi inside. Since the treasure took the initiative to recognize the owner, Luo Yudi had such an opportunity, and she couldn't let Wang Zi disturb her. "Ah!" Wang Zi screamed in pain after entering the demon refining pot. The demon refining pot can be upgraded with the plain order, and now it is at the Xian level. If the power is fully opened, a demon at the semi-saint level will be refined instantly when it enters it. Ye Chen has only used 1% of his power now. SHH. Wang Zi's scalp split open, and a terrible demon came out, leaving only a human skin. The demon that appeared was dozens of meters long. The breath of the semi-saint level was surging. Its defense was greatly enhanced. But even so, it still screamed in pain in the demon pot. The demon pot is not very effective against people. But it is their nemesis when used against monsters. "Husband, Changle is." Luo Hanjian said in surprise. Luo Yudi closed her eyes, and countless chess pieces around her were looming. "She has obtained the treasure's recognition of the master," Ye Chen said. Luo Hanjian thought of the chess book that Ye Chen gave to Luo Yudi. She sent a voice message to Ye Chen, "Husband, you haven't been thinking about Changle for a long time, have you?" Ye Chen rolled his eyes secretly. "Hanjian, I agreed before I thought of hitting her. And I am fully capable of making Changle directly get the treasure to recognize the master. She is just a lousy chess player. I never thought she could actually get the recognition of this treasure." The chess book for Luo Yudi is called Kinkan chess book. The level is slightly lower, only Tianji, but this thing can use the plain order. "That's right." Luo Hanjian muttered in her heart. Ye Chen looked at Luo Yudi. He didn't have the god-level plane order, but he still had 2 Xian-level plane orders. Use one for Luo Yudi? Forget it, since I can get the Qincan chess book to recognize the master actively, I am still destined to this technique. Ye Chen said in his heart. He silently let the system use a Xian-level plane order. The Qincan chess book has now entered Luo Yudi's body. The Qincan chess book, which originally emitted silver light, suddenly shone with golden light, and its level was upgraded. At the same time, more information emerged in Luo Yudi's mind. Her cultivation level is now at the 2nd level of God King, and she has directly jumped to the 3rd level of God King. Go. Ye Chen took out a small jade bottle and poured out a drop of life spirit liquid from it. The life spirit liquid disappeared instantly when it touched Luo Yudi's skin. God King 4th level, God King 5th level. In just half an hour, Luo Yudi's cultivation level rose like a rocket, from the 2nd level of God King to the 9th level of God King. Luo Hanjian was fine, but concubine Shu was so shocked that her eyes seemed to fall out. Hanjian, let's go for a walk outside. Concubine Shu said. Luo Hanjian nodded slightly, and concubine Shu seemed to have something to say to her. Ye Chen continued to stare. Luo Yudi's cultivation level was improving so fast. He had to help Luo Yudi adjust it. With his help, Luo Yudi could directly reach the realm of the Divine Emperor. At the age of 18, the Divine Emperor, it would be shocking if it got out. Hanjian, does Ye Chen really have the strength of a semi-saint? When they arrived at the backyard of the princess's mansion, concubine Shu whispered. Luo Hanjian nodded gently, "Aunt Shu, my husband does have the strength of a semi-saint." Concubine Shu was shocked. She knew that Ye Chen's strength should be good, but she didn't expect it to be so strong. Hanjian, Aunt Shu wants to discuss with you. You see Chang'e is in danger outside, why don't you just let Chang'e follow Ye Chen? Concubine Shu said a little embarrassedly. Luo Hanjian is her adopted daughter, and Chang'e is her biological daughter. This seems to be a bit like helping her biological daughter to poach someone. Luo Hanjian was stunned. Aunt Shu, aren't you very opposed to Chang'e and my husband being together? Otherwise, you wouldn't introduce Chang'e to so many people in a month. Ahem. Concubine Shu coughed lightly. Hanjian, as a mother, I just hope Chang'e lives a good life. If she follows Ye Chen, she should be able to become an emperor in the future, right? This is much safer, and her lifespan can be extended a lot. And since Ye Chen is willing to give Chang'e very good things, I am more relieved. Luo Hanjian. Concubine Shu's transformation is really fast. However, Luo Hanjian can fully understand that concubine Shu has such an idea. Aunt Shu, even if Chang'e doesn't become my husband's woman, my husband will give her a lot of resources. At most 10 years, Chang'e will definitely reach the realm of the emperor. Luo Hanjian said. She said this more conservatively. But concubine Shu was still shocked after hearing it. Luo Yudi would only be 28 years old 10 years later. Such a young emperor? Hanjian, is this possible? Concubine Shu was a little unbelievable. Luo Hanjian nodded. Aunt Shu, Chang'e will definitely become an emperor in 10 years. Concubine Shu took a deep breath. In this case, Chang'e may become a semi-saint level strongman in the future. Hanjian, Chang'e already has Ye Chen in her heart, and Ye Chen has helped her improve her strength so much at once. Do you think Chang'e can find someone else? And with her current cultivation, ordinary people may not look down on her. Concubine Shu said. Luo Hanjian was silent. Chang'e's original cultivation of the 2nd level of the God King was not bad. Now that she has reached the 9th level of the God King in half an hour, it is estimated that breaking through to the level of the God Emperor is a foregone conclusion. Who is worthy of the 18-year-old God Emperor? Hanjian, Aunt Shu begs you, you talk to Ye Chen and accept Chang'e as soon as possible. I can't control this girl with her current strength. Concubine Shu said. Aunt Shu, I will persuade Ye Chen. Luo Hanjian sighed in her heart. Ye Chen can only get the advantage. Thinking that the two sisters would have to serve the same man, Luo Hanjian felt a little conflicted. As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Did. Chapter 217. 2 or 3 hours later, Luo Yudi successfully broke through to the first level of the God Emperor. After stabilizing her cultivation, Luo Yudi opened her eyes with great joy. Brother-in-law, thank you. Luo Yudi pounced directly on Ye Chen and hugged Ye Chen tightly. Not to mention, this little girl has a very good figure, and Ye Chen feels a sense of pressure in his chest. Changle, calm down, calm down. Ye Chen patted Luo Yudi on the back and said. Is it normal for my sister-in-law to hug her brother-in-law? Bo. Luo Yudi's small mouth actually kissed Ye Chen on the cheek like lightning. Brother-in-law, I will never marry anyone else, and I will never see anyone else again. Whoever dares to come to the door again, I will break his legs. Luo Hanjian and concubine Shu came out of the backyard at this time. Ye Chen's figure flashed and he and Luo Yudi were far apart. Mother, Sister Hanjian, I have a cultivation level of God Emperor. The skills my brother-in-law gave me are too powerful. Luo Yudi looked at Luo Hanjian and the others and said with great joy. Concubine Shu had already made a prediction, but she was still shocked when she heard Luo Yudi say that she had reached the level of a God Emperor. Ahem, Hanjian, you guys talk to Changle, I'll deal with other things. Ye Chen flashes away. He felt that the way Luo Hanjian looked at him was a bit strange. Did Luo Hanjian see it just now? Come out. Ye Chen arrived at a quiet room in the princess's mansion, and he let the demon in the demon refining pot come outside. The demon that came out put on Wang Ziyi's human skin again. Wang Ziyi, if I ask you anything, you should answer it honestly. Do you understand? Ye Chen said softly. Master Ye Chen, please ask. Wang Ziyi lowered his head and said, his eyes full of fear, the demon refining pot was too painful. What kind of force are you from? Ye Chen asked. Sir, I am from Juxiao Pavilion. I was originally in the Endless Sea. The master of the pavilion found a way to let me go to the outside world. Ye Chen's eyes showed surprise, this guy was actually from Juxiao Pavilion. Your purpose? Sir, I'm here. The first is to explore your strength, sir, the second is to rescue Nightingale, and the third is to kill you directly if there is a chance. Ye Chen's eyes flickered, this guy's purpose was similar to what he expected. The demon sealing order has not been completely broken, so why can you leave the Endless Sea? Wang Zedao, sir, under normal circumstances we cannot leave, but now that the gods have descended, there are many powerful men at the level of saints in the Endless Sea. Many powerful people jointly opened a channel. At present, in about a month, a semi-saint level strong man can come to the outside world. There are now more than a dozen semi-saint level experts in Juxiao Pavilion. The pavilion master has obtained a powerful treasure and already has the strength of a saint level. I don't know the details. Ye Chen nodded slightly, he could see that Wang Ziyi wasn't lying. It is normal for such a situation to occur. There must be strong men from the demon clan on the other side of the Endless Sea. The demon clan themselves are stronger. It is not surprising that Ye Chen has a saint-level strong man among them. Sir, you can't kill me. If you kill me, our Juxiao Pavilion will probably target Tianyang dynasty immediately. Our pavilion master is a strong man at the saint level, and there are more than a dozen strong men at the semi-holy level. Wang Ziyi said in a deep voice. Ye Chen said calmly, inform the Lord of Juxiao Pavilion to come. If he is afraid, call all of you semi-saint level experts. I want to see if he really has the strength of a saint. Do you really have more than a dozen semi-saint level experts in Juxiao Pavilion? Wang Ziyi tried to summon him, but the summons was successful. It didn't take long for the news to reach the mind of the Lord of Juxiao Pavilion. The master of Juxiao Pavilion is not in the territory of Tianyang dynasty now, but he is not far from Tianyang dynasty. If something happens to Wang Ziyi here, they can support Wang Ziyi immediately. What do you think? The Lord of Juxiao Pavilion told the other powerful men about the situation. The Malian dynasty, the Gods dynasty, and the Bamo dynasty all dare to go there now. Only the Tianyang dynasty is the one that the Juxiao Pavilion master is very afraid of. Ye Chen said before that the Tianyang dynasty has a sacred weapon to protect the country. Pavilion master, we are so scared. Yes, Pavilion master, even if the Tianyang dynasty has a sacred weapon to control the country, there are so many of us, we will definitely be able to carry it. Pavilion master, you have the strength of a saint, and a dozen of us have the strength of a semi-saint. If you are frightened, we may be laughed at for the rest of our lives. Pavilion master, if you don't want to go there, why don't we go there? The other strong men spoke one after another. They all looked like humans now, but they were all monsters. Living in the endless sea for a long time, they think the strong people in the outside world are very weak. Even if Ye Chen has the perfect strength of a semi-saint, why should they be afraid? Even if Ye Chen already has the strength of a saint, they may not be able to defeat him together. The master of Juxiao Pavilion said solemnly, let's go there together. According to the clues we have, the secret of eternal life is likely to be within the Tianyang dynasty. We must enter. Jaja, Pavilion Master, you are not interested in human women, but I am quite interested in human women. When the time comes, I want Luo Hanjian and the others. One of the young men said with a strange smile, this young man's body is a semi-saint perfect level demon. Among the dozen demons that came out, he has the strongest strength and has great hope of becoming a saint in the future. Moreover, the race of this young man is the Demon Dragon clan, which has great power in the endless sea. Okay. The Pavilion Master Juxiao nodded. His aesthetics are different from those of humans. The Pavilion Master Juxiao is from the Tiger clan. The appearance of a cat demon-like nightingale is in line with the aesthetics of the Pavilion Master Juxiao. Let's go. The Pavilion Master Juxiao and his men quickly headed to the Tianyang dynasty. With the strength of the Saint Master Juxiao, it would take only 3 to 5 minutes to get there. The 4 swords of Xuxian are now arranged around the Tianyang dynasty. Ye Chen will use the Xuxian sword formation. When the Pavilion Master Juxiao and his men enter the range of the Xuxian sword formation, Ye Chen will immediately discover it. As the Pavilion Master Juxiao and his men approached, the 4 swords of Xuxian also quickly flew towards the Tianyang imperial city. The smaller the range of the Xuxian sword formation, the greater its power. Boom! In about 4 minutes, the 14 strong men including the Pavilion Master Juxiao arrived around Princess Changle's mansion. They surrounded Princess Changle's mansion. Without talking to Ye Chen, the more than 10 strong men including the Juxiao Pavilion Master attacked with all their strength. If they could kill Ye Chen in the first place, what else would they say? Boom! More than a dozen forces, the weakest of which were at the early stage of the semi-saint, destroyed most of the Princess Changle mansion in an instant. But the hall where Ye Chen and his men were was fine. The 4 of Ye Chen and his men were in the hall. As for the servants, Ye Chen asked them to leave the Princess Changle mansion first. How could it be? The Juxiao Pavilion Master and his men were horrified. Their attack was directed at the hall where Ye Chen and his men were, but the hall where Ye Chen and his men were was actually safe and sound. Juxiao Pavilion Master, your strength is average. Ye Chen's laughter reached the outside of the hall. Something is wrong, retreat. The Juxiao Pavilion Master said sternly, and he chose to retreat at the first moment. However, the Juxiao Pavilion Master immediately found himself trapped in a very powerful formation. The same was true for the other 13 semi-saint level strong men. The immortal execution sword is now nearby. Just now, the attack of the Juxiao Pavilion Master and his men destroyed Princess Chang'el's mansion, and the rest of the place was intact. Ha! The Juxiao Pavilion Master and his men all burst out their most powerful attacks, trying to break out of the formation. But it was useless. Yechen is now at the level of Saint Venerable Perfection, and the immortal execution sword formation cannot be broken by 4 strong men of the same level. The Juxiao Pavilion Master only has the strength of the early Saint Venerable, and they can't even beat a Saint Venerable Perfection level strong man together. Collect. Yechen arrived outside the hall, and he offered the demon refining pot. The demon refining pot easily received all 14 strong men including the Juxiao Pavilion Master inside. Even the Juxiao Pavilion Master had no ability to resist in front of Yechen. Go. Yechen controlled the 4 swords of immortal execution and immediately moved away, and soon they reached the border. The Juxiao Pavilion Master and his men lost contact for only a few minutes, and immediately many God Kings, God Emperors, and even Emperor-level demons crossed the border from different directions of the Tianyang dynasty. Losing contact means great danger. The Lord of Juxiao Pavilion and his men had already given orders that as long as they lost contact, the strong men of Juxiao Pavilion would take action immediately. Destroy it, he. A strong man at the level of a God Emperor rushed to the nearest border city, which had 1 million people. If a strong man at the level of a God Emperor took action, the city would be reduced to ashes in a few seconds. Puff. A sword energy suddenly appeared and instantly pierced through the head of this strong man of the God Emperor. Its soul was swallowed into hell. The same thing happened in many places throughout the Tianyang dynasty. Most of them were at the border, but some of them also happened inside the Tianyang dynasty. 10, 100, 1,000. No matter whether it was a God King, a God Emperor, or a strong man at the level of an Emperor, they were all killed instantly. Most of the strong men of Juxiao Pavilion now gathered on the side of the Tianyang dynasty. Just in time to catch them all in one fell swoop. As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Did. Chapter 218. I am quietly staying in the palace, why do you bully an honest person? Yechen sighed. In just a few minutes, the 7,000 or 8,000 demons that rushed into the Tianyang dynasty at the border, as well as the 2,000 or 3,000 demons that were hidden within the Tianyang dynasty, all lost their lives. There were no casualties among the people of Tianyang dynasty. There were many treasures on these powerful monsters. It took Yechen a while to collect all the treasures, but Yechen did not collect the corpses of the monsters. Yechen needs to use their corpses to scare the rest of the monsters. Tianyang dynasty will become a forbidden land for demons. Many demons have rushed near the city, and they were naturally discovered by many people immediately. Such a big wolf monster. It seemed to be coming towards our city, but it was killed by a sword light. Is there a super master hiding here? Somewhere in the northwest, many people surrounded a huge wolf monster. Soon a more powerful person came over, and they judged that this wolf monster was a monster at the level of a god emperor. The people around were horrified. The same thing happened in many places throughout the Tianyang dynasty. A large number of slain demons were discovered. Many warriors were excited. Their meat is very nutritious. These demons are not small in size. There are tens of thousands of demons, enough to feed hundreds of millions of people. Hanjian, thousands of demons just rushed into the Tianyang dynasty. There are also 2,000 to 3,000 demons in the Tianyang dynasty who want to cause trouble. They are all dead now. Yechen looked at Luo Hanjian and smiled. Luo Hanjian took a breath of cold air. Tens of thousands of demons throughout the Tianyang dynasty died like this. Hanjian, you send an order to all parts of the country, saying that the demons were destroyed by several sacred weapons of the Tianyang dynasty, and the warriors can share the food of the demons killed in various places. The strong shall not monopolize it. Luo Hanjian said, Husband, you obviously killed those monsters. Chen pinched Luo Hongjian's pretty face and said with a smile, "Daughter-in-law, there is no need to care about our family, and I don't want to come up with this name either. Killing tens of thousands of trouble-making demons will greatly increase people's faith in you. And if the warrior eats those monsters, his talent and strength will be greatly enhanced." Luo Hongjian slapped Chen's rebellious hand away and said, "Then I'll let the Jin Wei spread the news immediately." Ding Mo had received some news at this time, and he was anxious. He felt relieved after receiving the news from Luo Hongjian. Jin Wei was spread throughout the Tianyang dynasty, and the news was immediately transmitted to the entire Tianyang dynasty. "Your Majesty is mighty." "Thank you, Your Majesty. If it weren't for Your Majesty, all the people in our city would have died. Your Majesty is so majestic, with tens of thousands of powerful demons, how much is this worth?" The news spread and the people were excited. The power of faith they provide is greatly increased. Luo Hongjian clearly felt that the rate of increase in the power of faith between heaven and earth was a lot faster. Originally, the power of faith accumulated in heaven and earth might not be enough for Luo Hongjian to reach the 9th level of the Great Emperor in a short time. Now, there is absolutely no problem in reaching the 9th level of the Great Emperor in a short time. "Husband, Chang'e's princess mansion has been destroyed, and there may be danger from the outside world. Chang'e should go live in the palace first," Luo Hongjian said. Chen said with a smile, "Hongjian, you are the emperor, do you still need my consent for such a thing?" Not long after, Chen and the others returned to the palace. If Princess Chang'e's mansion is destroyed, someone will naturally go over to deal with it. "Husband, Chang'e is temporarily staying in the Purple Dragon Palace. Her strength has improved so much in a short period of time, so don't cause any problems," Luo Hongjian said. Chen nodded lightly. Purple Dragon Palace belonged to Luo Hongjian, so it was natural for her to let Chang'e live there. If it was Fengming Palace, he would have some opinions. "Chang'e, listen to your Hongjian sister and brother-in-law. Mother should go back and be quiet." Concubine Shu left happily. Luo Yudi's emotional problems were originally a worry for her, but now they are gone. Luo Hongjian and Luo Yudi are two sisters. Normally, they would find the same man, and he would be the empress. If this news spread, it would be a huge scandal for the royal family. But if the opponent's strength is at the level of a saint, others will only envy him if word spreads about it. Scandal doesn't exist. Even if you can become a slave in the family of a saint-level powerful person, it is a matter of honoring your ancestors. "Hongjian, I'll go back to Fengming Palace first. Perhaps we can learn some secrets from the Juxiao Pavilion masters and others." Chen chuckled. Luo Hongjian said, "Husband, please come over at night. I'm afraid that the number of things will suddenly increase again." Chen glanced over Luo Hongjian's head, those feelings were still there. "Good." Chen nodded and said, "This thing can't be detected by his spiritual consciousness, he has to watch from the side." Chen left, and Luo Hongjian took Luo Yudi's hand to the backyard. The two women sat down. "Chang'e, Aunt Chu asked me to get you and your brother-in-law together as soon as possible. I don't have any good ideas for this. You can rest assured to live here and your brother-in-law will take care of it. When you can win it depends on your ability," Luo Hongjian said. Luo Yudi said weakly, "Sister Hongjian, are you saying that I try my best to seduce my brother-in-law?" Luo Hongjian. The word seduction is used. You can understand it this way. Luo Hongjian sighed softly, "You and I are sisters. I am originally opposed to you and Chen being together, but in your current situation, it is probably impossible for you to fall in love with anyone else. Sister Hongjian, thank you. You be the big one and I'll be the small one, he he." Luo Yudi said happily. In Fengming Palace, Chen entered the demon refining pot. The 14 masters of Juxiao Pavilion and the Wangzi who were captured at the beginning are all there. They howled in agony. Ye Chen snapped his fingers, and in an instant he left Juxiao Pavilion Master and the others in pain. Master Juxiao Pavilion, long time no see. Ye Chen chuckled. The master of Juxiao Pavilion looked at Ye Chen with an extremely ugly face. Ye Chen, if this master's guess is correct, when I first met you, your strength was far less than what it is now. Haha, you're right. You have the strength to kill me then. Ye Chen smiled. The master of Juxiao Pavilion was so regretful that his intestines turned green. At first he wanted to use Ye Chen to provoke a national war, so that he could absorb a lot of human resentment in the future. As a result, it actually gave Ye Chen time to rise. Ye Chen, you'd better let us go immediately. I come from the demonic dragon clan of the Endless Sea, and there are 3 strong men at the level of saints from our demonic dragon clan. Next to the master of Juxiao Pavilion, a huge demonic dragon about 100 meters long spoke human words and was menacing. Hee hee. Ye Chen chuckled lightly. The demon dragon's body was quickly refined, and in just a few minutes, a semi-saint level demon pill appeared. Eunuch Lu, I reward you. Ye Chen threw the elixir to Eunuch Lu, who immediately swallowed it. Huge demon power exploded in his body, and Eunuch Lu quickly transformed into his true form. The faces of Juxiao Pavilion Master and the others were extremely gloomy. The demonic dragon clan is already one of the top 3 demon clans among the Endless Sea demon clan, and Ye Chen has not given any face to them. Master Juxiao Pavilion, give me a reason for you to live. Ye Chen smiled lightly. The Lord of Juxiao Pavilion said solemnly, Ye Chen, although most of the powerful people in Juxiao Pavilion have died, there are still many people in Juxiao Pavilion in other countries. The Tianyang dynasty also has many people in other countries. Ye Chen shook his head. Those who live in other countries should take care of themselves. Anyone from Juxiao Pavilion who comes to Tianyang dynasty to cause trouble will definitely die. This reason doesn't work. Another strong demon said, Master Ye Chen, I am willing to be loyal to you. Isn't Eunuch Lu next to you also a demon? I am stronger than him. Ye Chen said calmly, I'm not very interested, unless you have other secrets to tell me. The Lord of Juxiao Pavilion took a deep breath and said, Ye Chen, I know some information about the secret of eternal life. Ye Chen's eyes lit up. Master Juxiao Pavilion, I am a little interested in this. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Did. Chapter 219. A heaven-level contract scroll appeared in Ye Chen's hand. Master Juxiao, sign this master-servant contract and you can live. This contract scroll is much more precious than a person like you who is in the early stage of Saint Venerable. I hope the secret you told will satisfy me, otherwise you will suffer a lot. Ye Chen only has 3 heaven-level contract scrolls, which can sign a master-servant contract with a strong man who has reached the perfection of Saint Venerable. It's a bit of a waste to use it on Master Juxiao. But if Master Juxiao really knows the secret of immortality, it's worth it. The top strong men in the Saint Demon realm need to find the secret of immortality, which means they don't have immortality either. The temptation of immortality is hard for anyone to resist. Master Juxiao frowned and looked at the contract scroll in front of him. He originally planned to say a little bit at a time to keep Ye Chen from killing him, and he might escape in the future. If the master-servant contract is signed, he will lose his chance completely. If the master dies, the servant will die too. Why don't you want to sign? Then I will slowly find out the secret of immortality and send you on your way directly. How about that? Ye Chen said with a half-smile. The master of Juxiao Pavilion bit his finger and signed the master-servant contract. The master servant contract of the heaven level, with his strength of the early stage of Saint Venerable, he had no ability to resist. Master. The master of Juxiao Pavilion said respectfully. Yachen waved his hand quickly, don't call me master, just call me lord. I'm used to hearing An Langxiu and Lu Qianqian call me master. It's disgusting to hear the master of Juxiao Pavilion call me like that. Yes, lord. The master of Juxiao Pavilion said respectfully. Yachen's eyes swept over the other dozen demons. Who among them do you think has little value and can be killed directly? The master of Juxiao Pavilion pointed at 8 of them. Lord, the forces behind the 8 of them are average, and there is not much value in keeping them. Yachen nodded slightly, and the 8 demons begged for mercy desperately. But not long after, they still turned into 8 semi-saint level pills. Their souls entered hell. Including the one killed earlier, 9 demon souls of the semi-saint level entered hell. Yachen could feel that the speed of hell's growth had accelerated a lot. You continue to enjoy first. Yachen said in a calm voice, and the 5 demons with a big background immediately screamed again. Yachen and the master of Juxiao Pavilion went outside. Meow. The master of Juxiao Pavilion saw Nightingale. He judged that Nightingale had the perfect cultivation of a semi-saint, and Nightingale was likely to become Yachen's servant. You are a tiger demon, I will call you Huxiao. Yachen lay down and said indifferently. Nightingale jumped over, and Yachen stroked the cat comfortably. Thank you for the name, my lord. The master of Juxiao Pavilion, also known as Huxiao, said respectfully. Tell me, what do you know about the secret of immortality? Yachen said in a calm voice. The companion god Willow set up a barrier, and no one would eavesdrop. Hu Xiao said, my lord, the secret of immortality lies in the heart of the world. In the big world that includes the original world, the holy demon world and other worlds, no one can surpass the way of heaven. The way of heaven stipulates the lifespan, so no one can live forever. Yachen nodded slightly. But there is no perfect thing in the world, and the way of heaven is the same. The way of heaven is flawed, and the heart of the world is that flaw of the way of heaven. If you get the heart of the world, you can transcend the way of heaven and gain immortality. And it is said that the heart of the world can also comprehend the way of heaven, which can make you stronger. Yachen's eyes flashed with brilliance. Immortality, coupled with the temptation of increased strength, who can resist it? How do you know it is the heart of the world? Yachen asked. Hu Xiao said, my lord, this is one way of saying it. My lord can also use other words to call it, but the meaning is actually the same. In ancient times, many powerful people of the human race and the demon race were actually looking for the secret of immortality. Yachen nodded slightly. There are many legends in ancient books about looking for the secret of immortality. Tens of thousands of years ago, our demon ancestors discovered that the heart of the world would be easy to be discovered for about 1 year every 100,000 years, and this time is approaching now. At that time, our demon ancestors judged that the heart of the world might appear after tens of thousands of years, so they designed to lure away the human race's strongmen, but the top strongmen of the human race were even more powerful. They used 9 pieces of demon sealing orders to seal a large number of demons in the endless sea. Yachen's eyes flashed with brilliance. If the top strongmen of the human race had not done so, if the heart of the world appeared, it would most likely fall into the hands of the demon race. Continue. Yachen said indifferently. A compass appeared in Hu Xiao's hand, but there was a corner missing from the compass. My lord, this is the heavenly Dao destiny plate. It was made with the demon cores of the 99 supreme strongmen of the demon race to find the heart of the world. These supreme strongmen are much more powerful than the Saint Venerable level. Only the top strongmen in the holy demon realm can compare with them. Hu Xiao said solemnly. Yachen was shocked. The top powerhouses in the holy demon realm are at the heavenly Dao level, and there are definitely not many such powerhouses. 99 supreme demon cores, the demon clan should have kept them for a long time. Why is there a missing corner? Ye Chen said, it should be very difficult to destroy something of this level. Hu Xiao said, my lord, when the heavenly Dao Fate plate came out, it caused the wrath of the sky, and the 9 heavens mysterious thunder split off a piece, and that piece disappeared. The key to finding the heart of the world lies in finding this missing corner. Ye Chen took the heavenly destiny chart. You live a lot longer, is it because of this? Yes. Hu Xiao nodded, although the heavenly path life chart is missing a corner, it still has a good effect and can roughly double the lifespan of a small number of creatures. Ye Chen marveled in his heart, even if one corner is missing, this thing still has the power to influence the way of heaven. Awesome. But this thing is probably not as powerful as his system. The system can reveal treasures across masks. Do you think the missing piece may be on the side of the Tianyang dynasty? Juxiao Pavilion is very powerful. Didn't you look for it everywhere before? Ye Chen said with some confusion. Hu Xiao said, my lord, it's like this. We have searched for that corner many times but have not found it. We judge that it will only appear when the time comes. Ye Chen said, when the heart of the world appears, will the time come? Lord, this is our judgment. Whether this is the case or not, we have to find that corner before we can be sure. Hu Xiao said. Ye Chen closed his eyes and thought, digesting the information he obtained. After a long while, Ye Chen said, without that corner, you can't get the heart of the world. Hu Xiao said, Lord, this is very difficult, almost impossible. Because the heart of the world is ever changing, it may be a tree, a grass, a stone, or a drop of water. Ye Chen frowned slightly. If this was the case, it would really be impossible to find it through ordinary methods. If it is a drop of water, how can we find it in so much water in rivers, lakes, and seas? If it's a stone buried deep in the earth, it's even harder to find. Lord, count the time may have come now. We have searched all over the other countries and found nothing, and we have searched all over the endless sea. Ye Chen's eyes flickered. You mean this corner should be in the Tianyang dynasty? Hu Xiao nodded, if the time has come, you should be able to find it in Tianyang dynasty. If the time hasn't come yet, it might be somewhere else. Ye Chen used the Xuxian sword formation, and he carefully sensed the aura that had the same origin as the heavenly path, but after more than 10 minutes, Ye Chen didn't find anything. The time probably hasn't come yet. Ye Chen secretly thought. He has confidence in his own strength. As long as the time comes, as long as this thing is not in a very special place, he should be able to sense it. Hu Xiao, how many holy level monsters and half-holy level monsters are there in the endless sea now? Hu Xiao said, my lord, there are currently a total of 18 saint level experts in the endless sea. They all originally had semi-saint level cultivation, and they all benefited from the divine descent. There are about 200 powerful people with semi-saint strength. It takes about a month for a half-saint to come out of the passage that has been opened now. As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Di. Chapter 220. Ye Chen said, there was a big earthquake in the outside world. The strong people in the endless sea should be able to get the news, right? Hu Xiao nodded. It is difficult for the demons in the endless sea to come out, but it is not difficult for people from the outside to enter the endless sea. Someone from Juxiao Pavilion will definitely enter the endless sea to notify. Take it. Hurry up and retreat to break through to the middle stage of the Saint Venerable. You will go to the endless sea in a few days. Ye Chen said indifferently, and he threw a heaven-level enlightenment pill to Hu Xiao. Such a pill is too strong for Luo Hanjian to eat. Hu Xiao has the cultivation of the early stage of the Saint Venerable, so he has no problem eating this pill. The heaven-level enlightenment pill will definitely allow Hu Xiao to break through to the middle stage of the Saint Venerable. Yes, my lord. Ye Chen waved his hand, and Hu Xiao entered the demon refining pot. After the breakthrough, Hu Xiao can also enjoy and consolidate his cultivation. Becoming his subordinate, the previous accounts must be settled. In the evening, Ye Chen arrived at the Purple Dragon Palace, and Luo Hongjian asked him to come over for dinner. Naturally, Luo Yudi was there too. Husband, I seem to have some insights. I'll go practice first, you guys eat. Luo Hongjian disappeared after saying that. Ye Chen. He rolled his eyes secretly. He didn't believe it when he was about to eat. But what can he do if his wife said so? Brother-in-law, try this. Brother-in-law. Luo Yudi said sweetly, constantly putting various dishes into Ye Chen's bowl. Ye Chen glanced at Luo Yudi. What should I do if my sister-in-law is too enthusiastic? Waiting online. Urgent. Chang'e, have you and Hongjian colluded? Ye Chen said. Luo Yudi pretended to be stupid and said, brother-in-law, what are you talking about? I don't understand. Ye Chen said, Chang'e, you are only 18 years old, there is no need to be so anxious. Brother-in-law said, wait until you are 20 years old. Luo Yudi hugged Ye Chen's arm. Brother-in-law, I don't want to wait until I'm 20. In our Tianyang dynasty, 20 years old is already an old girl. Luo Yudi said coquettishly. Ye Chen took a breath of cold air. How could he test me in this way? Luo Yudi has a baby face, an angel face and a devil figure, which is still very attractive. Chang'e, let go, or brother-in-law will be angry. Ye Chen said in a deep voice. Brother-in-law, sister Hongjian has agreed. Just obey me, he. Luo Yudi said in a delicate voice, and her body moved closer to Ye Chen. Ye Chen rolled his eyes, Chang'e, do you think you are in a good life now? Luo Yudi was stunned and her face flushed. Her relatives just came. She actually forgot about this. Brother-in-law, I'll find you in a few days. Eat well. A few days later, Luo Yudi was pestering Ye Chen every day. But Ye Chen didn't hate it. Which man could hate a beautiful girl like Luo Yudi? In Ye Chen's mind, Luo Yudi's impression was still a few years ago. When she was a little girl. These few days, Ye Chen deeply realized that Luo Yudi had really grown up. Husband, something big happened. After returning from the morning court, Luo Hongjian's face was solemn. What's wrong? In the backyard of Zilong Palace, Ye Chen, who was lying in the sun, sat up. Luo Hongjian said, the United States dynasty, the Gods dynasty, and the Northern Desert dynasty jointly established the Juxiao alliance and invited other countries to join the Juxiao alliance. Our Tianyang dynasty was directly excluded. At present, many countries have responded and joined the Juxiao alliance. Ye Chen chuckled and said, Hongjian, does the Juxiao alliance have any sanctions against us? Luo Hongjian shook her head, not yet. Ye Chen said, then don't pay attention to it, their reaction is normal. As long as they don't provoke us, just maintain the status quo. If they invade, the death of a large number of demons will be their fate. Luo Hongjian said a little worriedly, husband, I'm not worried about now. I'm worried about the future. If they unite like this, most of the strong people who come will be on their side. Husband, you have the strength of a perfect saint, but if more and more strong people from other countries come, the number of saints will also increase. There will also be strong people at the perfect saint level. Luo Hongjian's worry is not unreasonable. But there should be no need to worry in the short term. At present, at most, a strong man of the semi-saint level has descended, and he is only at the early stage of the semi-saint level. Ye Chen chuckled and said, don't worry, Hongjian, if the sky falls, I'll be there. With all kinds of powerful treasures, Ye Chen believes that he should be invincible at the same level. Hongjian, have you found that there are strong men with the strength of a semi-saint in the Tianyang dynasty? Ye Chen asked. Luo Hongjian shook her head, husband, I haven't found it yet. Even if there is such a strong man, the other party may choose to hide his strength. The royal family is strong, and such a strong man dares not show up. The Gods dynasty, the United States dynasty, and the North Desert dynasty, strong men of this level dare to show up. Ye Chen smiled and said, the Juxiao alliance has been established. If there are such strong men in the Tianyang dynasty, they should show up and stand up. At this moment, Luo Hongjian received a message. She looked at Ye Chen with some surprise, husband, you are really good at predicting things. Eunuch Yan just sent me a message. Someone handed me an invitation and asked to see me. The other party is a semi-saint. Ye Chen smiled and said, let the other person come here and I'll meet him too. Half an hour later, the visitor arrived at Zilong Palace. Ye Chen was a little surprised. He had seen this man before, his name was Yu Vinian. During Luo Yudi's birthday party a few years ago, Yu Vinian attended the birthday party. Yu Vinian was in his 20s then, and now he is in his 30s. See your majesty, the emperor and empress. Yu Vinian cupped his hands casually, with a slightly arrogant expression. Yu Vinian has indeed reached the early stage of semi-saint cultivation. Not counting the destroyed Lei family, the other three hidden families still don't have a strong person at the semi-saint level. Master Yuan, there is no need to be polite. Congratulations to Mr. Yuan for attaining the semi-saint level of cultivation. I wonder what Mr. Yuan did when he came to the palace to see me. Luo Hongjian smiled. Yu Vinian said calmly, Your Majesty, I would like to ask you to grant me a marriage to Princess Changle. He is full of confidence. He is now at the semi-saint level. Can Luo Hongjian disagree? Some time ago, he did not dare to stand up, fearing that the royal family would target him, but now that the Juxiao alliance has been established, he believes that the royal family must try its best to win over him. Marriage is a good idea. Master Yuan, I'm afraid it won't work. Luo Hongjian shook her head. If Yu Vinian had stood up 10 days ago, it would have been a little bit possible given his cultivation. Now Luo Yudi's heart is completely with Ye Chen. Concubine Shu has already identified Ye Chen. Yu Vinian's face darkened, and some of his semi-saint level aura was released. Your Majesty, I am now at the early stage of semi-saint cultivation. Our Yuan family is very powerful in the world of saints and demons. My strength should improve a lot in the future. Am I not worthy of Princess Changle? Yu Vinian was annoyed. He was quite fond of Luo Yudi a few years ago, but now Luo Yudi is even more beautiful. Luo Hongjian frowned and said, Master Yuan, Changle already has a sweetheart. Yu Vinian sneered, Your Majesty, what if I must marry Princess Changle? With the establishment of the Nine Heavens Alliance, the external pressure on our country is huge. Your Majesty, I hope you will give it more consideration. With a semi-saint level cultivation, coupled with the power of the Yuan family in the holy and demon world, Yu Vinian is not afraid of the Emperor Luo Hongjian now. Presumptuous! Ye Chen shouted coldly. Yu Vinian, are you threatening His Majesty? Yu Vinian's eyes fell on Ye Chen. Empress, there are rumors that you have the strength of a semi-saint, do you know whether it is true or not? But even if you have the strength of a half-saint, I am also a half-saint now. And I have the Yuan family behind me, what about you? Even if Ye Chen's cultivation level is higher than his own, Yu Vinian is not afraid. There is strong pressure from foreign enemies, and he believes that Luo Hongjian will compromise. I won't marry you, just give up. Luo Yudi's voice sounded, and she arrived at the front hall of Zilong Palace. Seeing Luo Yudi, Yu Vinian's eyes lit up. He had seen Luo Yudi a few years ago, but recently he had only seen Luo Yudi's portrait. Luo Yudi's cultivation has now greatly increased, and her appearance and temperament have improved. The real person is much more beautiful than the portrait. Your Majesty, I must marry Princess Changle. Princess Changle, you can only be my woman. Whoever your sweetheart is, I will kill him. Uvenian said domineeringly.